Welcome to the series of Bhagavad Gita chapters. Chapter 16 of the Bhagavad Gita, titled Daivasura Sampad Vibhaga Yoga, or Yoga of the Division between the Divine and the Non-Divine, explores the fundamental qualities that influence human behavior and determine spiritual destiny. In this chapter, Lord Krishna elaborates on the contrasting characteristics of the divine and demoniac natures present within individuals and societies. The chapter begins with Lord Krishna describing the divine qualities, Daivasura Sampad, that lead to liberation and spiritual growth. These qualities include fearlessness, abhaya, purity of heart, sattva samsuddhi, steadfastness in knowledge and devotion, Jnana yoga vyavastiti, charity, dana, self-control, dhamma, sacrifice, yajna, study of scriptures, svadhyaya, austerity, tapas, straightforwardness, arjava, non-violence, ahimsa, truthfulness, satya, absence of anger, akrodha, renunciation, tyaga, tranquility, shanti, aversion to fault-finding, apaisunya, compassion towards beings, daya, freedom from covetousness, aloluptvam, gentleness, mardavam, modesty, warrior, and absence of fickleness, akapalam. Conversely, Lord Krishna outlines the demoniac qualities, asuri sampad, that lead to bondage and spiritual deterioration. These qualities include hypocrisy, dambha, arrogance, darpa, conceit, abhiman, anger, krodha, harshness, parishyam, ignorance, ajnanam, and lack of faith, ashraddha. Those dominated by demoniac qualities are trapped in egoism, driven by material desires, and act with selfish motives that lead to suffering and spiritual regression. Lord Krishna emphasizes that these qualities are inherent in every individual, but can be cultivated or overcome through conscious effort and spiritual practice. By nurturing divine qualities and restraining demoniac tendencies, one can transcend the limitations of material existence and progress towards spiritual liberation. Throughout chapter 16, Lord Krishna provides practical guidance on how to recognize and cultivate divine qualities while overcoming demoniac tendencies. He encourages seekers to engage in spiritual disciplines, practice self-awareness, and develop virtues that promote inner peace, harmony, and compassion. The teachings highlight the importance of ethical conduct, self-discipline, and devotion to a higher spiritual purpose as essential steps on the path to self-realization and ultimate union with the divine. Chapter 16, verse 1, delineates the divine qualities that lead to spiritual elevation and the demoniac qualities that bind one to worldly entanglements. Lord Krishna instructs Arjuna on discerning these fundamental traits within oneself and others, emphasizing the importance of understanding these distinctions for spiritual growth and ethical living. This verse sets the stage for a deeper exploration of virtue, vice, and their profound implications on human behavior and spiritual evolution. Chapter 16, verse 2, continues Lord Krishna's discourse on divine and demoniac qualities. Here, he explains that divine qualities lead to liberation and demoniac qualities lead to bondage. He advises Arjuna to understand these qualities thoroughly, as they profoundly influence human conduct and spiritual progress. This verse underscores the importance of cultivating virtues and overcoming vices to attain spiritual freedom and fulfillment, guiding Arjuna and all seekers towards righteous living and inner transformation. Chapter 16, verse 3, emphasizes Lord Krishna's assertion that divine qualities arise from virtuous nature and spiritual knowledge, leading to liberation, while demoniac qualities originate from ignorance and bind one to material existence. Krishna encourages Arjuna to recognize these qualities within himself and others, underscoring the pivotal role of discernment in spiritual growth. This verse prompts reflection on the nature of one's actions and aspirations, guiding towards a path of wisdom and ethical conduct. Chapter 16, verse 4, describes how divine qualities like humility, charity, and self-control lead to spiritual elevation, while demoniac qualities such as arrogance, pride, and harshness degrade one's spiritual progress. Lord Krishna instructs Arjuna to distinguish between these two sets of qualities, highlighting their profound impact on personal growth and societal harmony. This verse underscores the importance of cultivating virtues that promote inner peace and righteousness, guiding individuals towards a path of spiritual fulfillment and ethical living. Chapter 16, verse 5, elucidates how those possessing divine qualities attain spiritual perfection and liberation, while individuals dominated by demoniac qualities descend into ignorance and bondage. Lord Krishna explains to Arjuna that divine qualities lead to transcendence and happiness, whereas demoniac qualities result in delusion and suffering. This verse emphasizes the transformative power of virtuous conduct and the detrimental effects of negative traits, encouraging seekers to cultivate qualities that foster spiritual evolution and inner harmony. Chapter 16, verse 6, outlines that both divine and demoniac qualities exist within human beings, influencing their actions and destinies. Lord Krishna distinguishes the divine qualities of fearlessness, purity, knowledge, and charity from the demoniac qualities of hypocrisy, arrogance, ignorance, and deceit. He instructs Arjuna to recognize these traits within himself and others, underscoring the importance of cultivating virtues and overcoming vices to attain spiritual growth and liberation from worldly attachments. Chapter 16, verse 7, elaborates on how demoniac individuals, deluded by their egoism and material desires, do not recognize the boundaries of ethical conduct. They engage in actions that are harmful to themselves and others, driven by insatiable desires and cravings. Lord Krishna explains to Arjuna that such individuals, devoid of divine qualities and wisdom, are trapped in a cycle of suffering and spiritual ignorance, unable to perceive their own faults or the consequences of their actions. Chapter 16, verse 8, describes the mindset of those with demoniac qualities who believe in the philosophy that pursuing material desires is the sole purpose of life. They disregard ethical principles and spiritual teachings, convinced that accumulation of wealth and power is the ultimate goal. Lord Krishna warns Arjuna about the delusion and self-destruction that accompany such beliefs, emphasizing the importance of discerning righteous conduct and spiritual wisdom over indulgence in worldly pleasures and selfish pursuits. Chapter 16, verse 9, portrays individuals under the sway of demoniac qualities, driven by insatiable desires and arrogance. They engage in actions that harm others, viewing themselves as powerful and entitled. Lord Krishna warns Arjuna of the dangers posed by such individuals, whose actions are fueled by selfish motives and disregard for moral principles. This verse underscores the importance of cultivating humility, compassion, and ethical awareness to counteract the destructive influence of demoniac tendencies in society. Chapter 16, verse 10, describes the mindset of individuals dominated by demoniac qualities. Such individuals are steeped in delusion and driven by desires that lead to unrighteous actions. They justify their selfish behaviors, believing in the pursuit of wealth and power as the primary purpose of life. Lord Krishna warns Arjuna about the detrimental consequences of such misguided beliefs and urges him to cultivate virtuous qualities that promote spiritual growth and righteousness, guiding him towards a path of wisdom and ethical conduct. Chapter 16, verse 11, illustrates the arrogance and ignorance of those under the influence of demoniac qualities. They mock spiritual teachings and ethical principles, dismissing them as illusory and irrelevant. Lord Krishna reveals to Arjuna that these individuals are misled by their own egoism and lack of understanding, rejecting the path of righteousness and enlightenment. This verse highlights the importance of humility and receptivity to spiritual guidance, essential for transcending ignorance and embracing the path of spiritual evolution. Chapter 16, verse 12 depicts individuals governed by demoniac qualities who are ensnared in delusion and self-importance. They engage in corrupt practices, driven by insatiable desires and a disregard for ethical norms. Lord Krishna warns Arjuna about the destructive nature of such behavior, which leads to further entanglement in worldly attachments and spiritual ignorance. This verse underscores the importance of discerning between righteous and unrighteous actions, guiding towards a path of moral integrity and spiritual liberation. Chapter 16, verse 13, describes the deceptive nature of individuals driven by demoniac qualities. They engage in hypocritical actions, professing false piety while harboring deceitful intentions. Lord Krishna exposes their duplicity to Arjuna, cautioning against trusting those who feign righteousness for personal gain. This verse emphasizes the importance of sincerity and integrity in one's conduct, highlighting the detrimental effects of hypocrisy on personal growth and societal harmony. It encourages adherence to genuine virtues that foster spiritual evolution and ethical living. Chapter 16, verse 14, portrays those under the sway of demoniac qualities who are consumed by egoism, power, and arrogance. They arrogantly proclaim their own greatness and dominance over others, driven by a relentless pursuit of material desires. Lord Krishna warns Arjuna about the dangers posed by such individuals, whose inflated sense of self leads to conflict and suffering. This verse underscores the importance of humility and respect for others, essential for fostering harmony and spiritual growth. Chapter 16, verse 15, describes the mindset of those dominated by demoniac qualities, who perceive themselves as the controllers of everything, including their actions, wealth, and power. They believe they are entitled to enjoy worldly pleasures without restraint or ethical consideration. Lord Krishna warns Arjuna about the delusion that accompanies such attitudes, emphasizing the consequences of arrogance and selfishness in leading individuals away from spiritual awareness and inner peace. This verse prompts reflection on the importance of humility and ethical responsibility in personal conduct. Chapter 16, verse 16, illustrates the ignorance and misguided actions of those driven by demoniac qualities. They engage in malicious activities, causing harm to themselves and others, motivated by greed and resentment. Lord Krishna warns Arjuna about the destructive nature of such behaviors, emphasizing the detrimental impact on personal well-being and spiritual progress. This verse highlights the importance of cultivating compassion, self-restraint, and ethical awareness to counteract the negative influence of demoniac tendencies and promote harmonious living in society. Chapter 16, verse 17, describes the mindset of those under the sway of demoniac qualities who indulge excessively in sensual pleasures, believing in the attainment of happiness through material pursuits alone. They are driven by insatiable desires and seek gratification without consideration for moral values or spiritual growth. Lord Krishna warns Arjuna about the fleeting nature of such pleasures and their inability to bring lasting fulfillment. This verse underscores the importance of moderation and spiritual wisdom in pursuing genuine happiness and inner peace. Chapter 16, verse 18 depicts individuals dominated by demoniac qualities who act with impure motives, disregarding ethical principles and social norms. They engage in wrongful deeds driven by greed, lust, and delusion, causing harm to themselves and others. Lord Krishna warns Arjuna about the destructive consequences of such behavior, which leads to suffering and spiritual degradation. This verse emphasizes the importance of righteousness and moral integrity in guiding one's actions towards ethical living and spiritual evolution. Chapter 16, verse 19, describes the distorted perspective of individuals under the influence of demoniac qualities. They view wealth, power, and material success as the sole indicators of happiness and fulfillment, obsessively pursuing these goals at any cost. Lord Krishna warns Arjuna about the delusion that accompanies such pursuits, emphasizing the fleeting nature of material achievements and their inability to provide lasting happiness. This verse underscores the importance of seeking spiritual wisdom and inner contentment over external validations and material gains. Chapter 16, verse 20, portrays the mindset of those driven by demoniac qualities who perceive themselves as the ultimate authority and engage in ostentatious displays of ego and power. They arrogantly disregard spiritual principles and ethical conduct, believing themselves to be self-sufficient and beyond reproach. Lord Krishna warns Arjuna about the dangers of such prideful attitudes, which lead to spiritual downfall and separation from divine consciousness. This verse highlights the importance of humility and reverence in fostering spiritual growth and harmony within oneself and society. Chapter 16, verse 21, describes the mentality of those governed by demoniac qualities, who act with hypocrisy and deceit. They feign righteousness outwardly while harboring malicious intentions within. Lord Krishna warns Arjuna about the insidious nature of such behavior, emphasizing the destructive impact of deceit on personal integrity and social harmony. This verse underscores the importance of sincerity and honesty in thoughts, words, and actions, essential for cultivating genuine virtues and fostering genuine spiritual growth. Chapter 16, verse 22, illustrates the mindset of individuals dominated by demoniac qualities, who are driven by insatiable desires and selfish ambitions. They pursue material pleasures relentlessly, disregarding moral principles and ethical considerations. Lord Krishna warns Arjuna about the detrimental consequences of such pursuits, which lead to bondage and spiritual regression. This verse underscores the importance of self-discipline and moderation in desires, guiding one towards a path of righteousness and inner fulfillment rather than succumbing to fleeting worldly pleasures. Chapter 16, verse 23, describes the misguided perspective of individuals under the sway of demoniac qualities. They believe in the attainment of happiness and success through exploitation and manipulation of others, devoid of empathy or ethical restraint. Lord Krishna warns Arjuna about the destructive nature of such attitudes, which lead to perpetual dissatisfaction and moral degradation. This verse emphasizes the importance of compassion, integrity, and ethical conduct in fostering harmonious relationships and spiritual well-being within oneself and society. Chapter 16, verse 24, highlights the distorted beliefs of individuals dominated by demoniac qualities. They view the pursuit of selfish desires and ambitions as justified, even glorifying their actions as honorable and necessary. Lord Krishna warns Arjuna about the delusion that accompanies such attitudes, emphasizing the harmful consequences of prioritizing personal gain over moral integrity and spiritual values. This verse underscores the importance of discerning between righteous and unrighteous actions, guiding towards a path of ethical conduct and spiritual evolution. In summary, Chapter 16 of the Bhagavad Gita serves as a profound philosophical discourse on the nature of human virtues and vices, offering timeless wisdom that remains relevant in guiding individuals towards spiritual fulfillment and liberation. It underscores the transformative power of cultivating divine qualities and the detrimental effects of succumbing to demoniac traits, urging readers to choose the path of righteousness and inner purity in their journey towards spiritual evolution and union with the divine. Thank you for watching my video. Please like and subscribe my channel for more videos.